This is 7 News, the voice of the New England.
Tonight, $500 million allocated to fix flood-damaged roads, but finding workers is a challenge. A growing number of residents have signed a petition calling for the safe pedestrian walkways. And later on this news hour, a mother dead, her son fighting for life after that tragic helicopter crash, and how China's COVID outbreak is set to send Aussie living costs soaring.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. $280 million has been allocated to fix regional roads torn apart from the flooding events. But country mayors have welcomed the announcement, but say there's not enough to fast-track the repairs.
Regional roads have been left damaged and in disarray after last year's flooding events. Councils have been calling out for more funding. Now the state government has put more money on the table, shared between Greater Sydney and regional New South Wales.
We know councils are doing it tough. So here's $500 million to councils across the state to help them fix local roads, and this will make a real difference to families, farmers, tradies and truckies across our state.
$280 million will be divided up between regional local government areas. Each council will be allocated a certain amount of money determined by the length of their road network. The exact numbers have not yet been confirmed by the state government. However, Northern Tablelands MP Adam Marshall says his electorate has received $20.85 million.
Councils can now go out into the market and engage extra contract staff for a longer period to supplement their existing council workforce. They can really get back on top of the road maintenance backlog.
Moree Plains Shire received the most funding with more than $5 million, and the Gwydir Shire allocated just under $4 million.
The whole job of repair in our shire, I think, will take another 2 years.
It's the second funding announcement in less than 3 months. 94 councils were given a share of $50 million in pothole funding.
The heavy trucks especially are just pulverising these parts of the road, which they can't help, and therefore it makes it very dangerous for cars.
It's just a piece of the puzzle, and I expect more pieces of the puzzle to come to us as time goes on, but this is going to take a couple of years to fix.
According to Narrabri Mayor Ron Campbell, they have received $3.69 million. Councils have welcomed the extra funding, but say a lack of other resources is the biggest problem. Labour and materials are difficult to secure, further delaying road repairs.
It's not going to fast track it unless we can get a contractor.
Councils will start receiving the money from January 16. Rachel Holdsworth, 7 News.
A growing number of residents who live in estates north of Tamworth are calling on the council to prioritise people's safety near busy roads. A lack of footpaths means pedestrians and people on mobility scooters are being squeezed between the bushland and fast-moving traffic.
A busy road surrounded by gravel and bushland with no footpath, forcing school students and staff into long grass and people with mobility vehicles into the street's traffic.
See how dangerous it is. There's drains and there's culverts. It's a very narrow road.
Tamworth's population is booming, and new housing estates north of Tamworth has filled up with families. Residents near Moore Creek Road love where they live, but they want the same consideration they say other ratepayers receive. The road links to Tamworth CBD and is constantly busy with traffic, but there's no designated space for pedestrians. Residents say they've had enough of the unsafe conditions.
We desperately need a footpath to be put in place to make it safer for both pedestrians, cyclists, motorists.
I see kids jumping through long grass when there's brown snakes everywhere up this road, and the council do come and slash, but often they come and slash at the wrong time.
From the roundabout at Vidello Drive to McCarthy College, there's no inbuilt walkway for students walking to school.
We're just asking the council just to do something nice and simple, make it safer, and to join up the two footpaths.
Community members told 7 News they've been writing to Tamworth Council for almost 2 years. In a statement, the council said it has too many staff away on holidays to comment on the issue this week.
Please, council, consider doing something about it before somebody else gets hurt or, worse, somebody gets killed.
The online petition has received more than 200 signatures in the past 3 days. Phoebe Murray, 7 News.
Fatal crashes involving mobile phone use are more common on country roads than anywhere else, and police are urging drivers to put down their devices when driving.
More people are being caught using mobile phones behind the wheel.
The use of a mobile phone hinders people's ability to be able to drive their cars safely.
In the last 4 years, 109 crashes involved drivers using handheld phones. 13 people died and 163 were injured.
Pretty alarming that there's people out there still using their mobile phone while they're driving. It's quite scary.
More than 60% of fatal crashes involving a mobile phone occurred on country roads.
People are hitting the roads now more than ever. They're using their car as a main form of transport. So it's really important to remove that temptation to use a mobile phone while driving.
Fines for using a mobile phone behind the wheel have increased by 15% in the New England and Oxley police districts. Heavy penalties apply if you're caught, and you could lose your licence in one road trip.
$362 and 5 points. And in a school zone, it's $481 and 5 points.
Police say despite advances in technology allowing people to connect their phones to vehicles, the increase of people being caught is alarming.
Motorcycle police and so forth are able to lane filter and detect motorists utilising mobile phones and any other offences that they commit.
Tony Ambrogetti, 7 News.
A shortage of housing means more families are struggling to find a place to call home. The vacancy rate at a record low in regional areas, and there's no end in sight for 2023.
The rental crisis has been a hallmark of 2022, especially in regional areas. Tamworth's vacancy rate remains below 1%. The real estate industry concerned it will continue into 2023.
Unfortunately, what we're seeing is an increase in population and a decrease in the amount of available properties.
Forecast population growth and increased immigration is expected to widen the gap between supply and demand.
We've got an amazing hub here with great schools, and we've got the TAFE and the hospital, so we will see an influx come in. That'll obviously tighten the demand as well.
Tamworth's LJ Hooker has 4 rental properties in town that are vacant.
It'll be tough, like locals and then having those new people come into town. It's going to put the strain on.
The Real Estate Institute is urging the state government to put new measures in place to help repair the market and take some of the pressure off, demanding a more streamlined approach within councils, approving developments and at a cheaper rate. Calls are also getting louder for tax reform.
Whilst we talked earlier this year about replacing a property tax for stamp duty, the reality of that, we're just trading one bad tax for another.
According to the institution, stamp duty, property tax and fees and levies are discouraging investment in residential property right across the country. If this rental crisis continues, there are fears it will create further social and economic issues.
People have said, I can go and get a job in a particular area. Unfortunately, I can't get anywhere to live.
Rachel Holdsworth, 7 News.
A Riverina family's breaking free from years of COVID-induced lockdowns and travel restrictions by taking their lives on the road. The Evans family, they've sold everything to take on the not-so-grey nomad lifestyle and escape the rat race of suburbia.
2023 will look a whole lot different for Wagga's Evans family after making the life-changing decision to uproot their lives.
We decided about 12 months ago that we would hit the road. Once we decided, we just sort of couldn't stop thinking about it, and we started looking at vans, and it all just led from there.
In that 12 months, the Evans sold their home, quit their jobs, bought a caravan and got to planning. First on the list of destinations, Tasmania, before travelling up Australia's east coast with plenty more on the bucket list.
Like the Great Barrier Reef and Uluru.
Second to the breathtaking sights they'll no doubt see, it's the time spent as a family they're most looking forward to.
COVID pushed us a little bit towards it as well with the family time. We loved being home together and we thought this is amazing, like we want more of it.
Such a massive change is not without its reservations.
It's rewarding but also nerve-wracking to sort of uproot the kids' lives as well as ours.
But if you ask the young adventurers, there's nothing but excitement ahead.
I like exploring, like seeing the animals.
What do you want to see out there?
kangaroo.
The cost of living is another contributing factor as it continues to bite down hard.
Definitely the kids have had to adjust to just taking what we need and not everything that we really want to take.
The Evans are hoping to hit the road by the end of the month. Jessica McLaughlin, 7 News.
What a great experience for everyone. Time for a quick check of your weather details with Pip. How was it today, Pip?
Well, warm nights and warm days, Dan. Hello, everyone. Taking a look at the satellite, we had some patchy cloud cover earlier this morning, but most of it did clear by the early afternoon, allowing for temperatures to reach the mid-30s. Tamworth got up to 34, Quirindi 33. Gunnedah had a very warm start of 20 degrees, reaching 36. Narrabri, very much the same 20, top of 35. Moree, 22 up to 34, Tenterfield 28 and Glen Innes got to 28 as well. Now we do have a trough pushing cooler conditions into our region though. I'll be back with that forecast later on, Dan.
Look forward to that, Pip. Good on you. See you soon. Still to come in 7 News. Parks is set to host the 30th Elvis Festival. And a young singer-songwriter learns from the very best at Tamworth's Academy. And a little later on this news hour, China's COVID outbreak set to hit our economy, sending grocery prices skyrocketing. We hear from witnesses who watched that tragic helicopter crash unfold as more victims are identified. And a nervous wait in Menindee as the Darling River rises. Rising stars of country music have arrived in town for a 10-day workshop. The Academy gives young artists an opportunity to learn whilst rubbing shoulders with some of the country's best stars.
Honey, tell me how your love runs.
Wade Foster is an aspiring country music artist. Today, he joined 27 other students for the Country Music Festival Academy, and the next 10 days are going to be intense.
If I want to have a go at it properly, here's the place to do it. This is the town. This is where the music festival is. There's all the people I can learn off, so it's what dragged me all the way down here. Fuel wasn't an issue.
This is a new dream Wade's only recently started chasing. The former rodeo cowboy has packed up the boots and pulled out the guitar.
I bought a guitar off Facebook for a carton of beer and took it to rodeos, and they taught me a bit and didn't even know I could sing until one of them told me.
The course is about more than just honing an artist's craft. Students get the opportunity to network with mentors and learn from each other.
I'm always keen to jump in and have a go, and any collaborative opportunities, I'm always keen.
Students will spend the next few days in masterclasses learning how the music industry operates, how to manage their own career, and the importance of teamwork both on and off stage.
Knowing the business is essential to having a long-term career, because I think if you just read any autobiography of a muso who's had big success, a lot of the pitfalls are not understanding the business.
This program could be the launching pad they've all been working towards.
Get a bit further and to advance my career in music and see where it takes me.
You have to have longevity, and that requires so much more than prettiness alone, or just a great song.
The 10-day workshop will conclude with a performance at Bicentennial Park during the Country Music Festival. Phoebe Murray, 7 News.
It's only been 8 months since the last one, but the Park's Elvis Festival is back again. And this year, the town is celebrating the event's 30th anniversary with a blue Hawaii theme.
Each year, far, far away from Graceland, the king of rock and roll is throwing a massive birthday party in Parks. Today, final preparations were up and running.
We've had a very tight turnaround between April and January, but the team have pulled it off.
Event organisers are promising this year's return to its original date in January, where it will deliver over 300 events, while the visitor count is expected to tick over 27,000.
We have sold out shows for Wednesday and Thursday for the very first time in festival history. The campsites, caravan sites are booked out.
This morning, Elvis Central opened its doors. The king himself also spotted, chatting to locals. From his hairdo to his replica self, Elvis is etched all over town. What have we got for the blue Hawaiian theme this year?
Hawaiian outfits for the car, colour, flowers, you can just put on a lei and you're set to go.
While Brad Cartwright's outfit is inspired by the one Elvis wore in his 1961 Blue Hawaii movie. And it's Parks he has to thank for when it all began for him 16 years ago. And I believe you found love in parks as well.
Yeah, I met my second wife here at the Parks Elvis Festival on Elvis's birthday. And a year later we come back and we got engaged up here on Elvis's birthday. And then the year after that we got married.
There's just one more slip to go until the big week of festivities. And downtown, it isn't only people getting dressed into the spirit of things. Kalubi Creations make the effort to theme their shop each year. Again, it's packed with everything you need. As all roads lead to parks in January, many will soon be moving and shaking again.
For 12, 13 years, we've met some really good people that we're lifelong friends with, and they only see us once a year.
Christopher Tan, 7 News.
Still to come in 7 News, novice sailors hit the water at Lake Keepit and learn to swim programs have safety front of mind this summer season.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, new research tackling one of the biggest obstacles to losing weight.
It's cravings. We'll tell you how to beat them. See you in the morning.
Welcome back. Dozens of budding sailors took to the water at Lake Keepit this morning as the Sailing Club kicked off its annual summer camp.
A perler of a day at Lake Keepit. Ideal conditions for the Sailing Club's introductory camp.
Everyone can enjoy it. You don't have to race. You can just dawdle around the lake and have a wonderful time. Or you can get really serious and try and get the most out of your boat.
It was all hands on deck, with the club's most experienced sailors leading the way.
Upwind. Once you can go upwind, anyone can go downwind.
People from 8 to 80 years old learning the ropes as part of the 3-day course.
Students don't spend long on dry land here. After a quick safety briefing, they're straight out on open water, learning how to safely capsize their vessels and operate them under the watchful eye of instructors.
Many didn't take long to gather their sea legs.
So they're learning how to capsize properly.
If you capsize and you don't know how to get it back up again, the boat can just drift away and you're in the middle of the dam.
It's fun and you get wet even when you don't probably want to get wet.
All smiles during training, but it's an essential skill that could one day save a life.
And it's all the subtle things that you've got to be careful of, the dehydration and the sunburn and all those things. It's a very vicious environment if you're not very careful.
Anyone looking to embrace the life on the water is encouraged to come down and try sailing on Sunday mornings.
There's plenty of members here willing to teach and help, and there's plenty of club boats. You don't have to own a boat to start. You can come and try it, and if you like it, you'll end up buying your own boat.
Max Gant, 7 News.
Water safety is front of mind this summer after a spike in drowning incidents. Learn to swim programs have commenced and parents are urged to enrol their children.
It's just one step, but a giant leap forward for these kids.
Big jump.
Many diving in for the very first time as they commence a Learn to Swim program. Those aged 3 and up learning potentially life-saving skills.
I think when we're living in Australia, we need to expose them to everything: rivers, dams, creeks, pools, the ocean, the whole bit.
The club's stressing the importance of starting kids young, regardless of where they're from.
Being from Tamworth, we think, we don't have the ocean or the dangerous currents to worry about, but we do have a lot of, backyard swimming pools, and it is a big part of our culture.
The 4-day intensive focusing on fun and building confidence, but there's a serious message behind the teachings.
A lot of drownings that we see are definitely preschool-aged children, and they have a curiosity for the water, so it's vital for them to get in as early as possible just to have that ability to swim to the edge.
The importance of water safety on the agenda after a spate of drownings over the holiday season. This summer, 26 drowning deaths have been reported in Australia.
Kids can drown in cattle troughs, buckets of water, in backyard pools, wading pools, clamshells. There's no reason that any child shouldn't be taught to swim.
Max Gant, 7 News.
Still to come in 7 News, we'll have your local weather forecast. That's up next.
Hello again, Pip here with you, taking a look at your forecast. And on the synoptic chart, a trough is pushing a cold change into the region, bringing with it scattered showers and light winds into parts of our region tomorrow. We can also see that monsoon trough over WA that is bringing unsettled conditions over the northern parts of the state. Taking a look now at our forecast rainfall for the next 8 days, and we are expecting up to 10 millimetres of rain in parts of Tamworth and in Moree tomorrow, with showers expected to clear at this stage by Friday, leaving us with a clearer weekend ahead. On to our forecast for tomorrow, and those scattered showers and storms are forecast for the majority of our region, with still very hot temperatures reaching the high 30s with warm overnight lows. Slightly cooler in Barrington tops with a top of 21. Glen Innes top of 30. Inverell warmer again, top of 32. Taking a look at Thursday's weather, and strong winds of up to 35 kilometres an hour are forecast for Gunnedah with a top of 27. Conditions clearing for the rest of the region, cooling down to a very low 23 in Armidale, 25 in Glen Innes and 22 in Murrurundi. On to Friday, and we are warming up again at this stage with some cloud cover forecast for Gunnedah, Quirindi. Armidale top of 23, a bit cloudy. Barrington tops top of 12 and rain forecast there as well. Over the next 7 days now, and after a scattered shower tomorrow, we are looking at partly cloudy but fine conditions for the rest of our week, heating up on Monday with a top of 32, 27 on Tuesday with rain forecast at this stage, Dan.
Cooler nights, great for sleeping. We like the look of that, and fine days to follow. Good on you, Pip. Thanks again. That's all we've got time for, though, tonight. Thanks once again for watching. And, of course, a full catch-up available on any of your favourites. You can watch the news again at 7+. We'll catch up online. Right now, though, we do have your national news with investigators piecing together how 2 helicopters crashed.